Black revolutionaries, distillery owners, Italian fashion retailers, and Motown Grammy winners all share their best stories never before told in any other media outlets on Detroit is Different. Visit DetroitisDifferent.com or download the Detroit is Different app on Apple's App Store or Google's Play Store.
We are back in the Detroit is Different podcast studios, and today I have somebody picking up a sister of a sister, and not like a sister of a sister, like a real sister, like blood sister, grew up, probably was like taking all the dials, the hair care products, and so much more. I just interviewed her sister, but now we have the namaste, the thought process behind bringing everything together with yoga, connecting to Oshun energy, connecting to Aisha Shule, connecting to Detroit, but a lot of New York years. How you feeling today?
I'm good.
Okay, now we're going to definitely open up because I want to actually open up with what you do on social. So what's your social title? Then we're going to get into like all the you titles and everything.
Well, first of all, hey, everybody. My name is Imari Alaji. For you guys who don't know me, I am the creator and founder of Sunflow Wellness. And under the umbrella of Sunflow Wellness, I have the Namaste Sensual events and I have Moms on the Go. And my social title, explain to me more about what you want me to do. What's my IG is Sunflow Wellness. Mm-hmm. And then the main IG is Moms, MOMZ, on the Go. Mm-hmm. And then on Facebook, it's just Imari Alaji.
Okay, so now let's get into so much. Imari went to New York, back in Detroit.
Yes.
I got some of the childhood background from your sister that's at Solidarity, Shamika, so you can tag into that interview. And it was a lot of watches, especially at the IG reel and everything, and that was good, and that's cool.
Her, yeah.
Whole different vibe of kid sister.
Yeah.
Of the youngest, as they say. So whole different feel, whole different vibe, energy. Yeah. You're back in Detroit after some years.
Yes, 10 years.
10 years back here. Let's start in that journey.
Okay.
What is it like coming back to Detroit knowing that you grew up here?
I think it's wonderful. I think coming back to Detroit to have something to offer feels really, really good. So for me, when I left, I was in my early 20s. I was barely an adult. I was still quote unquote finding myself. So I just felt like New York was the best place for me to do that as an artist and as a new woman. I just, oftentimes I just felt like Detroit, I felt like Detroit didn't have anything to offer me, or I didn't think that Detroit had anything to offer me at the time. But I'm glad I left. I'm glad I was able to kind of expand and just like learn and just have this journey in New York. But being back feels really, really good because I'm really ready to roll my sleeves up and kind of contribute in my own way to the wellness movement here in Detroit, the fitness movement, the creating safe spaces for Black people. I'm rolling my sleeves up and getting to work.
All right. So as you talk so much about that, we got to get more into the details of it all.
Okay.
So neighborhoods, communities, so much of even New York has changed since like so many visits. Those 10 years that you were there in New York are an interesting 10 years. And I guess any New Yorker, New Yorkers have such egos. It's like every 10 years is good, son. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
but a lot changed.
Mm-hmm.
The whole concept of even what seems to be happening in Detroit now, where they say a walkable downtown.
Right.
The story of I-375 that tore down Detroit's Black Bottom right now is going to turn back into like a walking greenway. So that's a tragic story for some.
Right.
But New York was one of the first cities I went to not too long ago where it's like, yo, you really can't drive down some of these streets.
Yeah.
You know? So while you were there, a lot was transitioning.
Yes.
And then some of those trends, as we know, New York sets trends kind of that, permeate throughout the nation. Mm-hmm. You can probably see some of those things happening possibly here already.
Right.
What was it like witnessing some of that walkable downtown, that concept of like really a flip of the suburbs coming back to the city and the city kind of moving out to the suburbs?
Since I've been back, I'm not gonna lie, it's been kind of shocking. Like, okay, wow. I mean, it's nice, but I mean, I've been a black girl in the city of Detroit my entire life, and I've always been able to walk downtown. I've always been comfortable going in different spaces and areas that people may deem bad or troubled or whatever you want to call it. That was just my life and my reality. So I don't look at it as, oh, now it's a walkable downtown. It's just like, okay, hey, downtown. I mean, it's different because it's a lot more businesses and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, I'm not really surprised or shocked at how Detroit is transitioning, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. When you were there in New York, especially like I think of Harlem, because that's when I think of New York, it's like I hear New York and I think Harlem.
Yeah.
You know, and like I always tell people, it's like Harlem to me, when I first got there, it may have been like our first visit to New York where I really remember it was 94. Okay. And Harlem felt like a big Highland Park to me.
Okay.
You know what
Interesting.
I'm saying? So, but Harlem don't feel like a big Highland Park no more.
No, it doesn't. Not at all. When I first got to New York, I think in like 2011, 12, I did go to Harlem first. And then I was in Harlem for maybe like 3 years, and the remaining of the years was in Brooklyn. But Harlem it felt just like a big hug to me. It was just the culture, the food, just the beautiful brown people walking around. It felt like home. You can go to an African dance class. You can walk to one right up the street. Harlem literally is its own little world. Like, you literally don't have to go outside of Harlem. I mean, that's kind of how Brooklyn is too. You don't have to leave. You don't have to leave. If you want to explore like me, I love adventure. I love exploring. But Harlem just felt very much like home, even though I was away, even though I was like in my I just turned like 21, 22. It still felt very comfortable for me to navigate. Now, it feels a little uncomfortable. Even after COVID, it's just like, I don't know, it just has a weird vibe now. Honestly, no offense, Harlem people, I love you guys. But I mean, that's everywhere you go in New York now. New York used to feel just warm, and when you walk through those New York streets, your heart used to beat differently. You used to thrive in a different way. You just felt, even if you weren't like a celebrity on Broadway, you felt like you were, just because you were there. You were experiencing it. You were seeing the people. You were experiencing the energy, and it just felt magical. I feel like New York has lost just a little bit of like that magical feeling, which is fine. Transitions happen, you know.
Yeah, it's different. Like,
it's different.
It like I remember my sister and then Devin, that my cousin, like, they stayed in an apartment, and under the apartment was like all the African hair braiders.
I know they stayed on Malcolm X.
Blocks and blocks like of African hair braiders, and then it'd be like a Jamaican, like, what you want, boy? Like,
I've gone to I visited them.
Let me get some jerk chicken from this
and then
place
across is a pizza spot, and then down the street is it's all of the things.
I don't know how much coding this restaurant has, but the food is amazing.
If the letter A is not in the window, then don't go in there. Just don't.
So it's like, you know what I'm saying? And just the street vending was like, you're falling over people selling God knows what. Everything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Things.
And now, like, my last visit, I didn't even see the street vending like that. I didn't see the pulse of that. Like, okay, is this real? Is it fake? Who knows?
And that's what makes New York, New York. That's what makes Harlem, Harlem. The street vendors, the people, the community. And now it's all being pushed out by people wanting to transition.
Mm-hmm. As like I say, it's like the suburbs is moving back. Like, the families from Queens and stuff like that are moving back into the city. Yes, and the people from the 9/11, city are moving further to, like, really, like, the New Yorkers, like, the last trip.
Because they're buying them out. A lot of grandparents, a lot of parents. I mean, there are a lot of, older black people who owned real estate in New York at one time, and now they're being bought out by different communities and cultures and different things like that. It's a sad thing to see. And so for me, like, that's what I'm seeing, what I'm experiencing. They'll come there expecting this New York experience, but you're not getting the New York experience because the culture is what makes the experience. But you're pushing everybody out and you're making everything more expensive. We can't thrive here.
Yeah, like, in different spots. Actually, a lot of the people I know from New York are in Connecticut, or like not still kind of North Jersey, but further, not just necessarily Newark either, like further in where like, Connecticut, Jersey, like just kind of getting throughout that whole corridor of, like I say, it's like they're almost like swapping, like where the cool suburbs, I guess, where white folks used to live are now getting some more black folks, and the black and the white folks are moving into the city now.
And honestly, the black people in the community, a lot of them, I'm honestly, just by speaking to them, and I'm not speaking for everybody, but a lot of them are just like, some of the people like the, dare I say, the gentrification. Some of them, they're like, well, no, like, I feel like they're taking over our neighborhoods, and they're not even respectful about it. It's just like, we're a community. We gonna be outside bending, and in Brooklyn, we have Dance Africa, and we have the drums on the streets, and we have the movement and just the energy, right? You know, and we all speak to each other, and we all, oh, hey, how you doing? Like, honestly, I've seen like a lot of white people, they'll just like walk past with their, but like, you in our neighborhood, like, how are you, like, how you want to live in the heart of Brooklyn? You want to be able to say, oh, I live in Bedford-Stuyvesant or Bed-Stuy, as I've lived for the last, 5 years. But you don't want to be of Bed-Stuy. You want to just be able to say, oh, I live there, because you know it's an up-and-coming neighborhood and because it's becoming gentrified. But you don't want to be of the culture of the people. Interact with the people, and maybe we will be more welcoming and happy to see you there. You know?
Now, let's just juxtapose that to what's happening in Detroit now.
Okay.
As we talk about, like, that walkable downtown means, like, you can't drive on certain streets.
Right.
You know, the Spirit of Detroit Park, which is still, like, so interesting, the way that came about. But, like, just that connection of being able to drive all the way down Woodward to Jefferson and then make a left, that you will never be able to do that again.
No.
And I think that's going to keep extending further out. I wouldn't be surprised, you know, in this whole walkable downtown where, like, you know, Woodward will probably stop almost like at the Fox Theater all the way up to Jefferson.
Yeah.
You know? And it's so many blocks like that in New York now.
Yes.
Like just streets where you can't drive down.
No.
It's only really walkable.
It's like that.
And then it becomes a kind of thing that, to me, in my estimation, especially in a city like Detroit with all of the surveillance, a lot of that surveillance from like Rock Financial, Bedrock, and the holdings of Dan Gilbert, like it becomes one of those things like, what are you doing down here? Because if you're not walking to your job, or you don't look like you work in one of these jobs, or you don't look like you delivering food to one of these jobs, you're kind of out of place. With cars being able to move, it's like, okay, I may be driving through, I can park, I can, you know, maybe I go in or something. But now you almost create a blockade with the quote-unquote walkable downtown. It also creates a heightened security and policing structure. Right. Has New York felt like that?
Not to me.
Okay.
I will say that I know it has, I'm not going to even say the potential. I know that it, not even really though, because New York is New York. You're going to see desolate people. You're going to see people on a train. You're going to see dancers in the middle of the block dancing. Like, you cannot take that away from New York. You can't. You can't take that from you can't take that away from the people. So to me, New York has never felt like that to me personally. I've never been in a neighborhood where I didn't feel like I didn't belong. Even in the neighborhoods that I didn't feel, Tribeca, I used to work in Tribeca, which is one of the like richest or wealthiest neighborhoods in New York. I worked there for 3 years straight, and I never felt out of place. Nobody ever looked at me like I didn't like out. I mean, and if they did, I was probably in my own world, like
in your own zone.
I'm a black girl magic down the street. Like, I never.
And that's one of the unique things, even as we look at what's happening in Michigan with this gubernatorial election coming up, because right now New York has a black mayor again, Eric Adams, that is different than de Blasio, but he's strong on crime because he comes from a law enforcement background. Right. So it's one of those interesting things of like, you have a black man in a leadership position, right, under the guise of being tough on crime.
Right. And we all know that crime is associated with black skin.
Exactly. And that's, I guess, one of the next questions that I have for you, because it's like crime is one of those things that they point, and I didn't think, like, that's how Detroit is different interviews go. Like, we they kind of go where they go.
Yeah.
And I didn't think we leaned so far into New York, but I want to put the parallels because
Sure.
some of this may be happening in Detroit soon.
Yeah.
As the quote unquote black mayor that gets the economic supports in his coffers, you know, having a law enforcement or police background is usually why, but law enforcement and police, as we know, usually does not align itself with at least the younger black community. Did you feel that crime was so much of a threat in New York when you were there? What was the whole thoughts about it? Like, what was safety like in New York?
It didn't affect me directly, again, just because New York is such like this big melting pot of so many people that you kind of understood. As a young woman, I understood what was going on as far as crime, but I didn't really experience it. Like now they have like these apps where you can download the app and kind of literally know in which neighborhood, whether you're in Bedford-Stuyvesant or whether you're in Flatbush or whatever, Lefferts, right? Like, there was a Lefferts Garden now, but wherever you are, like you can kind of, you'll get alerts on your phone. This is happening around the corner from you. Like you get these like high crime alerts. Just as I was there, I don't think that I was affected by it. Again, I was in my own world. I was just like bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, just happy to be there. But they did have the stop and frisk going on and all that kind of stuff. And because I am a black woman and from the Shule and all that kind of stuff, it was just like, yeah, no, this is not cool. This is not cool. And we already know why this rule is implemented. I don't need to say it. You don't need to say it. We already know why it was. So it was disheartening in that knowing. I mean, but I never felt unsafe in New York. Like I would literally walk, like I would not go outside right now at what time is it? Whatever time it is. I would not go outside right now and like walk down the street by myself. I mean, if I had to, whatever, fine. But in New York, no matter where you are, you can be out at 10 o'clock, 11, 12, 1, 4 in the morning and walk down the street and feel safe. It don't mean that you will get robbed, but it don't mean that you won't get robbed. I just never felt unsafe walking. I just felt like this powerful presence of my ancestors, and that's just how I am. That's how I rock. When I think about crime and all that kind of stuff, I don't think about it in a space that other people think about it. I know that I'm protected from my ancestors. I know that as a black woman, I have to do a lot to keep safe and to not look this way. Squash all that. For me, my ancestors walk in front of me and behind me, and I know that I'm protected at all times, and that's just the approach that I take.
So that brings us to more of some of your background here.
Sure.
Detroit and its background and coming back to Detroit. Why did you choose Detroit? Because, you know, with your experience and definitely that New York brand, sometimes, you know, that can be a gateway internationally. You know what I'm saying? Why did you choose Detroit?
Detroit is home. Detroit is where my village is. Detroit, and I always said that, like, for me, I was like, well, after I leave Detroit, after I leave New York, I definitely want to come back to Detroit to build. You don't leave Detroit forever. You leave Detroit to gain your experiences, to become a part of who you are going to become. And then you come back and you offer the very village that raised you whatever you have to offer. And so that's why I'm back. My mom is here. My siblings are here. My son was being raised in New York, and I wanted him to be able to be raised with his Detroit family as well. And so Detroit is my home, and home is where the heart is. And so I'm just so grateful and humbled to be back and in a space of understanding that we as black people, black and brown people, people of color, we need somebody to advocate for like health and wellness and fitness. We need more of that. Like, you know, I know like the hair industry, nail industry, like the cosmetic industry, like is super booming here in Detroit. There are so many sisters and brothers that slaying the hair industry, barber shops and nail shops and all kind of stuff. Clothing boutiques and, you know, restaurants. And I'm just like so proud of Detroit and the transitions they're making, more black-owned businesses. So it just feels good to be able to be a part of those circles in my own right and in my own space, which is wellness and health and fitness and African centricity and African spirituality and womanhood, right? And creating safe spaces for black people to feel good about themselves. Like, you know, as women, you know, we're taught like, well, you got to be a size this and you got to look a certain way. And it's just like, no, You know, my job is to teach Black women and Black people how to be comfortable in their own skin and love themselves. Self-love, I know it's such a cliche thing now. It's such a trendy thing now, but we've been doing this since Shule days. I learned how to pamper and wash feet and massage therapy and all of that kind of stuff, ritual work, spiritual work, you know, how to talk to the woman, how to talk to the womb, how to do tapping, how to do meditation, you know, all of those things, martial arts. We grew up doing martial arts my dad would wake us up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning to do deep breathing and meditation. Like, I'm grateful for those experiences because now I'm in a space to be able to share them. Yes, I got my certification. But really those things don't matter. This is my lifestyle. I've been doing this my entire life. So it comes second nature to me. And so it's a passion. They say, stick with something that you will be willing to get paid for or not get paid for. This is absolutely what I want to do here in the city of Detroit. I just want to, you know, bring us back to our traditional greatness. You know, I see so many young women. And it really is very sad, like so many young women, you know, getting like these surgeries and again, it's really no shade. And really, it's not. It's no shade because if you want to do it, but I also want to create that safe space where if you don't have to.
I do have this question: health and wellness, because
Yes.
you leaned into that. And then we're gonna unpack your work.
Okay.
But you mentioned it in an industry,
Yes.
and especially this is still at the root. I still think that we're breaking the vestiges of this being a blue collar city, an industrial city.
Yes.
So when we hear industry, we think, oh, what's a real industry? Like even with what I do with content creation, it's
Right.
like, it's so funny. I got this thing going with the gig fair. And I talked to like one of my big homies and he was like, oh man, is there any real jobs that you're talking about in there? And I started laughing. And I was like, well, you know, I mean, this is where we're at right now.
Yeah.
Content creation, social media management, project managers,
Yeah.
event planners. Like it is an industry for that. What's the health and wellness industry? What does that include? How do you please define that for
I
your
believe that the
definition?
health and wellness industry is, so it first started off as just people exercising and working out and people learning how to work out properly. You know, back in the day, you like had these like very basic gyms that had like certain equipment in there. I mean, now you go to a gym and it's just like all of the equipment and all of the things. I mean, technically, really, you don't need all those things. I mean, you can still quite literally work out with your own body weight and all that kind of stuff. But I think the fitness industry, because it's $1 billion industry, people are just like making money on different ways to work out, different ways to exercise, different ways to become thinner or reach your body weight goal. Or so yeah, that's in a nutshell, that is the fitness industry. I mean, you have other avenues like with supplements and you have like juice bars and like they're a part of the wellness industry. You have different smoothie bars, but for the most part, fitness and wellness industry is just, I think it's playing on people's emotions to kind of, I don't know, put them in a space of like wanting to need to reach a certain goal to look a certain way. For me, it's the opposite, inside out. How do you feel on the inside? You feel good? No, why? Okay, so let's change that. It has nothing to do with how you look. You are beautiful. If you are displeased with maybe, okay, you have a little belly fat or whatever, we can work on that. But that doesn't mean you're less than, and it doesn't mean you're less beautiful. If you have a personal goal, that's perfectly fine. But the fitness industry will have you thinking like, oh, you need to be a size 2 and you need to have 6 packs and you need to, as a professional trainer, that is not my method. I will never tell people that you need to be a size 2 or you need to be a size 6. Now, if you go to the doctor and your doctor say, well, you need to drop this weight because your health is at risk, that's a whole different conversation. But that's not what the fitness industry is promoting. They're quite literally promoting physical beauty. And for me, it's soul beauty. How beautiful is your soul? How beautiful is your spirit? And if you're okay with that and you're healthy, I'm just here to help you reach your goals.
So
Like I have the knowledge and the education to do that. If you say like, I feel good about myself, but I just want to trim this and trim that, I'm like, okay, girl, these are the things to do. But if you're coming to me, which a lot of clients do, they're coming with all of these like esteem issues and, you know, so I take it on, right? I'm an empath. I take it on to like, well, let's build you from the inside out.
So it like even in your bio, I see like you've been doing this for a minute.
Yes.
And it's like you've been connecting in this, and you combine even in that
Yes.
health, wellness, and fitness. Because I guess now that as we segment it more, fitness in a lot of people's minds and definition deals more with the aesthetics
Yes.
of meeting a standard
Yes.
that has probably been like incepted in your mind of this is what beauty is.
And now we
And
are
that's
here to break that. Yes.
And that's what's so unique about like Black women in general.
Yes.
Because as we know, like the standard of beauty, like to me is like the Suzanne Summer, the Farrah Fawcett, and I know I'm going 70s,
Yes.
but like I guess today, I don't know, like the
Kim Kardashians and
yeah,
all
Kim
the
Kardashian.
yeah.
But to me, the Kardashians, because some of their look, even though I know it's sculpted and it's been adjusted and enhanced, feeds more into more Black-like features in this Armenian skin tone.
When they came on the scene, they quite literally changed white people's minds about what the standard of beauty is.
Exactly.
I mean, because you had several other Black women with their natural asses and their natural brown skin and their natural perfectly
Lips.
chiseled nose and full lips. And they were like, yeah, but nah. As
Exactly.
soon as the Kardashians came in, again, no shade, shade, all love. As soon as they came on the scene, they were like, oh, we like these Black features and this is how we're going to portray our image and our look. And so then the white people were like, okay.
And
we accept it.
and some of this is like shout out the late great Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. Some
I
of
love
this
her.
definitely feeds into how we look at what attracts us to, procreating. Like I mean, as what we as Black men adorn and what we look to. A full, you know what I'm saying? We want curves, you know what I'm saying? We want a thick woman. Like that's what Black men do, and what attributes, I think, more so to like non-Black men, maybe something that they're looking for a woman without those same curves and without that same look.
Yeah.
And possibly, but obviously, like things have shifted now.
Yeah.
So when we think of what fitness is, a lot of this are incepted ideas that I
Yes.
think sometimes through conditioning of television, magazines, what people say about something. So it's so unique. And being that you were in that industry, how, like, when a person would come to you and say, I want to look like this, as I got a homeboy that does a lot of fitness stuff too.
Okay.
And he'd say, like, okay, what's your body type? Like, find somebody with your body type, and then we can reach that goal. But if you're 5'3", it don't matter what you want, man, you're not going to look like LeBron James.
Right.
It's just...
Right.
right now it's just impossible. But so when clients would come to you from the fitness realm of wanting to look a particular way, what do you think incepted in their mind the idea of the way they should look? Even if they're thinking that the way they should look as, I'm 40, I had a couple kids, I want to look how I looked when I was 17. Like, what incepts that idea?
Well, I feel like the fitness industry quite literally makes their millions and billions of dollars off insecure people. We live in a society, in this westernized society, that kind of celebrates a certain body type. And if you do not have that certain body type, and if you are outside that mold, then you are not celebrated. You are not good enough. You are not, you understand what I'm saying? So they quite literally make money off of people wanting to look like other people, the media, the entertainers, the celebrities, all of that stuff. So for me, going back to your question, when somebody says, I want to look like this, my motto is become your own body goals. I, as a person, because I'm a person, I've been a size, because y'all don't need to know my height, but I'm 5'3", I'm on the shorter side. So if I do gain the weight, it's going to show. I'm not thin. It doesn't like stretch out. It's going to show immediately. So I have been a size, to some people that's not big, but I have been a size 10. And on my frame, that's huge. I have been overweight. I have been in places where because I got injured and I couldn't exercise. I couldn't do anything. Like yoga actually saved my life. We'll get into that. But I've been, quote unquote overweight and thick, and I've been, you know, and my boot, you know, are you a stripper? And your thighs and your hips and everything is just so, you got surgery. I've been there where I felt like super insecure because I was on the thicker side, and I've been super skin, a size 0, where it's like, girl, you need to eat, girl. So I had to come to terms with, I will never be able to please or satisfy what others want me to be or look like. I just have to be completely and utterly who I authentically am. And so I just had to make peace with doing that healing work from the inside out, the esteem issues and all that kind of stuff. I just had to make peace with who I am. And so that is my message to my clients. Be your own body goals. Don't try to aspire to look like her now. If you want to build your glutes, here are the exercises to build your glutes. If you want a flatter tummy, here are the exercises and the meal plans and the this and the that to attain those goals. But I will never be okay with the client, and I always gently redirect them. It's never like, girl, nah, like never that. It's, oh, you are beautiful. First of all, let me tell you, you're beautiful. You don't have to look like this. We can create and sculpt your body in a way that makes you feel comfortable. And that's, I think, why my clients love me and adore me, because I'm just real. I'm not going to play on your emotions.
Okay.
I'm not going to get more money out of you by saying you know, and people might think, people in the fitness industry, like, oh girl, you selling yourself short because you can get more money like that.
Yeah.
That's not my ministry, and that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to educate, and I'm here to liberate.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you define it and crystallize it in that manner, it's a couple different things that I think going on in the call to action.
Okay.
We went further into fitness, and now I'm thinking more into the health and the wellness.
Yeah.
So right now, I mean, everyone internationally has had an awakening moment of how we feel about health due to COVID-19.
Yes.
One of the things in the wellness industry here in health was more herbs, vitamins, which right now I'm so... like, I'm at a loss right now as they're not open right now. It's like, oh, man. It's like I built up a rhythm and a rapport with the brothers over there doing it. You know, and right now, just due to what they're facing, they're not open providing their supplements like they used to.
Okay.
But it leaned me so much into more supplements. And really the awakening of like, damn, I need more vitamin D. I need turmeric. I need more ginger.
Yes.
I need more, like... I feel like I'm Dick Gregory. I'm pulling out Layla Africa's book that I had on my shelf.
And let me tell you, we were raised that way. So again, when I say this is my lifestyle, this is not just a new awakening for me. Quite literally, my mom, she's a holistic therapist. So the industry or the work or the passion really that I'm in, it's not stemmed from me looking like, how can I make some money? What can I do to provide a service? Yeah. My mother is a holistic therapist. She grew up, I watched her doing colonics. She's a colon therapist, a holistic therapist, quite literally studying under my mom as a 3 and 4 and 5-year-old little girl. Wow. We took herbs. We didn't take medicine. We barely went to the doctor. I mean, we did the once a year thing because, I mean, you have to, whatever. But like, we didn't do a whole lot of doctor visits. I don't recall any of us being sick often at all. Like, my brother had asthma. That's it. That's the most we dealt with. And then even my mom healed him from that. Like, quite literally healed my brother from asthma.
So this is unique because I remember, like, when COVID first broke, I had I have an interesting network, hence why I have Detroit is different as a platform.
Okay.
It's because I had this soapbox of these different people. I'm like, you don't know this person? And you know, I had some of the most gangster people in my phone, like, hey, man, yo, my girlfriend's sister got this sea moss on deck.
Right. And we was doing
this
that
is not
in
that
the
guy.
90s.
I'm like, this is like straight gangsters. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Telling me about sea moss of like, you want to get this the same way they smoke it through. I don't even smoke weed, but you know, if you're familiar with certain people in the black industry, as I know, as they say, the black collar folks, you know, sometimes you're going to smoke it out through everybody, you know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, we got it on deck. If you want it, sea moss on deck. It went from like, it went from like, we got whatever interesting strand of like marijuana is named after like whatever, you know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
Mega Man, you know what I'm saying? Crash Bandicoot to like, hey, we got CMOS on deck. So I know it shifted during COVID-19 how we look at what health is and how it works.
Yes.
So this definitely put right smack dab in the middle of a person in the health industry.
Yes.
How has COVID-19 transitioned people's perspective of even talking to you? Because I'm guessing if my gangster friends are reaching out to me with this, I can only imagine a person that's been in this space.
Yes.
What was it like, people calling you on like, what should I do?
Yeah, I got a lot more clientele during COVID-19. I am not going to lie. So personal training, because all of the gyms were closed. They're like, I need a Zoom session. I need all of the things. Funny enough, I was already doing virtual training before all of this
you
COVID.
Were ahead of the game.
I mean, you call it what you want, but
you were ahead of the game.
I was already doing
ready
yes.
for it. Like, you didn't know why.
I didn't.
But you were already, like all the other trainers was trying to figure out, like, they like, hey, you out the frame in the video. And it was like, what yoga position is that?
Yes.
Like, I can't see. Like, hold on, let me adjust my iPhone. You already knew what was up.
I already had my setup. I was already training clients virtually before COVID. So just gaining more clients after COVID. So as a trainer, I got more clients. As a wellness coach, I have consultations with people where they'll just call me and we'll be on the phone for 30 minutes and they'll just like give me a donation, like, oh my God, thank you. I do have set prices, but COVID was like a thing. And I'm just like, I'm not about to like gouge. Like, I'm not that person. So it's just like, yeah, hit me with a love donation. But just a consultation on like, okay, what steps should I take? What should my daily routine look like? I can't really afford personal training right now, but like, what's some of the things that I can do at home? And I like offer like a 30-day video for such and such amount of dollars where you can just like look at the video every day. I had meal plans. A lot of people called me for advice on what herbs to take. You know, what should I take for this? And what should I do with this? You know, what steam should I put? Oh, I heard that we should do a steam.
That's where I'm thinking
the
a lot
citrus
of people.
steam. Like, okay, the grapefruit and the oranges and the limes.
I heard some of
and
that,
peppermint.
Like people like
ginger.
Putting a cover over their head.
Oh, but it works.
Putting it on the stove.
But let me tell you, this is how my mom healed my brother's asthma. Let me tell you. Like, back in the day, like in the 90s, in the late 90s, early to late 90s. This is how she healed him. With steam, essential oils, with citrus. Like, so these are things, again, that was already a part of my life. And when it started becoming big during COVID, I was like, oh, like, this is something that I always do. Like, in my household, I always have a big pot of water boiling with some essential oils, some citrus, some cinnamon sticks. Like, that is a very common thing in my household, like before COVID, and it's going to be after COVID. So these things are not new practices. So I felt good being able to like help and advise. Like, it wasn't like, yeah, y'all, it wasn't like that energy at all. It wasn't like, yeah, I'm ahead of the game. It wasn't that at all. Some people who were practitioners of holistic practices and all that kind of stuff, you know, felt slighted because it's like, yeah, we've been trying to push this for a long time and we've been trying to preach this to y'all and y'all just been rejecting us, and now y'all
let the mucus build up in our bodies, but now it's like, gotta put down this slice of pizza.
Yeah, people felt slighted. Like,
gotta put down this slice of pizza and get some mullein leaf. Where's this mullein leaf?
We've been trying to do this thing with y'all for years, and now finally, because all of this stuff is happening, now y'all running back to us. I never took that approach. It is what it is.
Now, within that same vein, because it's funny, like my vitamin hookup, even as like I'm running low on my supply from more herbs. So now I'm like shifting off to other things and other turmeric. And I'm like, okay, I'm blending some stuff. Like my homeboy. So this is something my Mike will, and it's a classic one, like lemon, ginger, a little bit of honey, mix it up, and I actually added a little pineapple. And really, hey, shout out, if you're in Detroit, you can go. I'm speaking right to my camera. You can go to Randazzles, and you can buy all of this, honey included, for less than $15, right? If you go to Whole Foods and buy this, it may cost you a kidney. I'm just saying.
No, but honestly,
I'm gonna be like, hey,
call a spade a spade. Here you go.
You can go to Randazzles, and when you get vegetables from Randazzles, let me say this: they will go quote unquote bad fast.
Yes.
But that's just an example of that is real fruit.
Yes.
Meaning like
I
fruit,
agree.
you're not supposed to get fruit and put it in the refrigerator.
It lasts for 2
and then
weeks.
it lasts for like, a month. And it's
No.
like, oh, I'm still eating this
Why
bag
is
of
this
oranges.
This grape is still very crunchy and green. That is not a
Exactly.
grape.
No,
Get rid of it.
Yeah, what preservative is in this?
All right.
But within the same wellness, how much does we spoke a little bit about like some of the health. You even touched a little on diet with meal plans because I think that as far as like even in my journey, like I've never been slim. I think I'm at what was my weigh in today? 223. Usually I like being like when I was at my best, I got down to like 185. I just didn't feel, I felt wiry. I think I like being at like around 210.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
solid.
saying?
Yeah.
Me personally.
Yeah.
That's me on my frame. But I think, but from that journey, because that was when I was, community college, a little early wash, like I really was focused on all of my journey. So this is like Akari, like when people was like, damn, when Kari was skinny, as people may say, I was juicing.
Skinny.
I was juicing like ever. I was on the track at Northwestern, which is my favorite track in the city of Detroit, running at least 3 miles a session, at least twice, 3 times a week. I was biking at least 12 miles at least 5 times a week because my bike route would go from my house right here near Highland Park all the way to Birmingham sort of and then sort of back. I got my own little ways of going through it where I'm going through Palmer Park and
Can I
then straight
ask
down
you
Woodward.
what made you stop that journey?
Business started picking up.
Yeah.
I mean, I was
What can I do or say to plug? What can I do or say to get you back in that space?
I will. I think this is funny. It's like the reverse.
The reverse, because
I'm
gonna go with
it's
it.
like I'm being interviewed. I ended up with one of my largest clients to the point of time when I was working with Motor City Match under the Detroit Economic Growth Corporation. And it was just a lot of pressure. Like I never saw any money like that or a contract like that. I had subcontractors under me, and I felt like some of my subcontractors, because they were younger, kind of were dropping the ball on stuff.
Okay.
So I felt a level of pressure just due to the work, and I still sometimes feel like that with certain projects and certain jobs. Like, I have subcontractors now, and it's like, damn, when I do a deal with somebody, they're shaking my hand, and for so long I was that person just piecing together a little bit of money.
Yeah.
And then I remember I submitted this contract and the guy told me, man, what? It's like, that ain't enough money.
Yeah.
You need to like quadruple that amount of money. So I was like, damn, you gonna give me quadruple for that? He was like, man, we'll do you 5 times more than that. So it floored me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm getting 5 times as much money as what I thought it would be.
You're getting your worth.
And worth now, as I talked more to my dad, like arbitrary and stuff. Like it was so weird because my mom was like, "That's the type of contract we can go on and get a new car." And that's like the first thing that happened. I took that contract, then we went out to the Ford dealership with the contract alone and my crazy ass messed up credit. So if you get a good contract, car dealerships will look at you because they know that the money is coming. So it's like, I got my new car. I got this new equipment. I got this new client where really technically I got to deliver on certain small deliverables.
Right.
My subcontractors, though I'm paying them, ain't getting it. You know what I'm saying? And the number one thing that I could take away from when I looked at everything in my day is, damn, do I really got to wake up and do this hour-and-a-half bike ride over to the track and then run for 20 minutes and then come back?
I mean, but you couldn't allow yourself or offer yourself just a little bit of the time. So if you didn't have an hour, could you have offered yourself maybe 30 minutes of that time? And I'm saying all that to say because I said the original question was, what can I do to get you back in that space? Or why did you separate from that space and you let time and pressure? With pressure comes stress. With stress comes unhealthy eating habits and maybe drinking and all that kind of stuff.
All of that.
So so you were dishonoring your body. You were like honoring it. Yes, the juicing and the biking and all that stuff. But you start dishonoring it because a little bit more money was on the table.
All day.
So what my job is, if I were your trainer, is to, and I do go above and beyond because I'm not I'm not your personal assistant where I have to write
Yeah.
write your schedule out, but I will if I need to write a schedule that includes fitness and wellness, because then you start feeling bad. You're like, oh my God, I'm so stressed. I love this money. I love this contract. I'm grateful. I have this opportunity that's so dope and my people are proud of me and I got this new car, but I feel like shit because I feel unhealthy and I'm not getting enough rest and I feel the pressure and and the people are slacking at work. So that means I have to pick up at work.
Well, let me tell you, like, definitely. I didn't have the presence of mind because the way I built out through my friend that does personal training. Shout out Maceo. 40 aging backwards. It's funny. He's going to be like 50 aging backwards shortly. But 40 aging backwards, I picked up certain moves, certain things. I thought I knew some stuff. Then I go train with him for a second. It's like, damn, I got more stuff to do. I can't do this as easy. And I built a flow of a workout where, like, my workouts would be, I throw on a podcast, listen for like an hour and a half, and I'm cool. Like, so now as I'm getting more of my balance back, because like I say, now I'm back to like 223. It's like it fluctuates. So like between like 227 down to like about 220. Like I'm in that range. So I'm gonna say 223. But I scaled out at 223 today because I still do scale every day. Shout out, look, you should scale every day, every person, even if you feel like you're not. But I topped out, and this is how you know you're drifting. Your clothes stop fitting. You be like, damn, this shirt looking young as hell. When you gotta go buy new jeans. You hitting whatever you hitting. The diet is going off the rails. You eating at erratic times. I wasn't as conditioned. And then, so now I'm slowly figuring out flows of getting workouts that are not as lengthy in time. Because that's the thing. I was so regimented that like transitioning and then still getting the... As they say, like, damn, I'm sounding like, and it's like people would look at me and like, what do you know about health? And it's like, I can tell you a little bit from what I've studied. Your experience.
Or your experience.
Like, as they say, like the stressor point. Because you can also do the same workout over and over again. It becomes repetitious and you're not stressing the muscles the way you need to. So it's like, so sometimes you have to do...
Just like people who walk in New York all the time. I'm like, y'all walk all the time and how are y'all still fat? It's like, because we do it all the time.
You have to almost get to like, you bench press 15 times just to do those last 3 where your shoulders, and you still got to make sure your frame is good, because that's the other thing as I've gotten older.
You're talking to a trainer, I know.
You can hurt yourself with long form.
Yes.
So like you're doing the monotonous work to get to those last 3 where it's like, and it's like,
it's called pushing
now
yourself.
I'm pushing myself past, and now I'm stressing stretching. And I'm
gonna go back to something you just said. Everybody should weigh themselves every day. I do not personally agree with that. As a trainer, I would not tell my clients to weigh themselves every day. You have periods of time where you can weigh in maybe once a week, twice a week, but I do not recommend weighing in every day because that's not always good for your mental and emotional health.
Hey.
Okay. But if that is your flow, if that works for you, if that pushes you to grind harder, by all means. And again, Sunflow Wellness, again, that is my company. That is my brand, Sunflow. Hey. Sunflow is, I'm a child of the sun. I'm a Leo, so we are a sun sign. Child of Ocean. Like, Sunflow, like, I feel better. I'm a black woman. I have melanin, so I feel better when I'm in the sun. I thrive when I'm in the sun. When the sun is out, I am like, where are we doing? What are we going? Blah, blah, blah. Flow. Like you just talked about having a flow. Like that's quite literally what I speak to my clients about. It's just like having a balance and having a flow in your everyday life that suits you and that speaks to just being in a space of just not comfortability, because you don't want to get comfortable, but being in a space that you feel like you're reaching your goal. Sometimes we have like these unrealistic expectations of ourselves, and sometimes we're harder, and sometimes we need to be. Sometimes we need to cuss ourselves out. Sometimes I'm at the gym like, go harder. Nope, don't do that. But sometimes I'm at the gym like, okay, girl, be gentle with yourself. And it's the same with my clients. Like I talk to my clients the same. I will never like be disrespectful. Be like, no, you not. No, gentle reassurance, balance, flow, all of those things.
For me, it still takes some discipline because it's so easy to drift. You know what I'm saying? Like tomorrow, I mean, it's late night tonight.
That's why you need a trainer. Track. Shout out to all of the trainers that shows up for their clients every day. Because sometimes you just need somebody. We're human. It takes a village. It takes a village. It takes a support team. So don't be afraid to reach out and have a support team. You can't do it all. Like, you have a whole business that you're running and you're doing it. So come to, if you like, Imari, I need you to be in charge of this part of my life, or whoever, Mike, whoever it is, let them be in charge of that part of your life. Because guess what we're going to do? We're going to call you at 8 o'clock. Oh, did you do this? Did you do that? Send you an email. Here's a reminder text. That's our job.
And I would say...
And you're like, oh, yeah, I forgot to do this. I forgot to drink my water. I forgot,
Oh, yeah, water is definitely key. More. And then just, I'm big on... with less biking, I've more running. I like running and jogging, so it's like a mix of running. So it's like a mix of like a faster jog and sprinting. When I go to the track, I love the track. I love Northwestern, but it's still, you know what I'm saying? And my rule of the track is if it's above 37 degrees, I'm out there. Okay. And that's even if it's like 106 or something.
Listen.
I'm there, but that's me.
Yeah.
But sometimes mentally, getting in mind to wake up Sunday morning before I do everything else and get going, because that's the other thing that I had to figure out my flow. It's like, if I eat something, you know what I'm saying? If I eat enough breakfast, I ain't going to the track, because that's my flow.
But that's what I tell my clients. I say, you don't have to like what we're doing. You don't have to like these squat thrusts. You don't have to like what we're doing. You just have to do it. When you go to the gym, you don't have to like going to the gym. You just have to get up and do it because you have to. You have to keep your heart healthy. You have to keep your kidneys cleansed. You have to move your arms and your legs. And you understand what I'm saying? You don't have to like it at first. I'm grateful that my clients end up finding a freedom in it, end up finding it liberating, end up finding joy in it. That is my goal. I don't want to be one of those trainers that takes the joy out of working out or out of physical fitness. I try to find creative ways. That's why, I came from being a dancer. My background is a dancer first. That's how I was always so fit. I grew up dancing in the community of Detroit. Shout out to the Detroit dance community. I miss it. Like, let's get it back. But I grew up at the Shule. It was PPT at first, Pyramid Performing Theater, where we did West African dance. And then it was, I went to DSA. Shout out to DSA. And, I was in the dance program there. And then and then from there had so many opportunities to dance in New York. And I've danced with so many prestigious, beautiful dance companies. And then I got injured. And then I was like, oh, I'm giving up. My life is over. I can't do this. I can't do that. And one day my mom was like, because I ended up having to come back from New York. My mom was like, yeah, get off the couch and do something about it. Because physical, she said, listen.
Your mom gave you the DeVry speech.
She said, because at first it was like, oh, she is injured. Let's have this compassion. But then,
like, what you doing? You on the couch? You ain't doing nothing with your life.
And it was like I was like so down on myself. I'm depressed. I'll never be able to. That's what the doctor told me. You'll never be able to dance again. Like, quite literally, they told me, like, you'll never be able to dance again. So yoga actually healed me and saved my life.
I do have this question.
Sure.
As a fitness person, and this is interesting as I unpack this, because this is the other thing. 39, it's like I gotta be more intentional, because I know these next 10 years, not only do I feel the growth in my business, but it's also the reality of mortality. Like, black men in the trajectory of just regular, like you said, we use that word stress. In that, and you have to make sure the blood's flowing and all of that stuff. And then I still want to make sure that you can even work in the bedroom as well. But
listen.
But at the heart of this, what's the difference in working with someone that came to you because it's like a doctor brought them there? Like, what is it like when that person is there? Like, because I'm sure that's a different type of client versus the person that's like, let's try this, versus the person that's like, yo, I am prescribed to be with you.
My approach is not different. It's still the same energy. It's still the loving space of redirecting their mindset. For me, it's mind, body, spirit. It's not body and then everything else. I will love you from the inside out, starting with your mind, how you view yourself, how you view your illness that brought you to me in the first place. Let's talk about it. It doesn't control you. You control it. That's why you're here, right? Okay. So let's look at some foods that you like. Okay, you don't like this? Well, we don't have to do that, but you got to substitute this for that. We just talk it through. It's a mindset thing. It's loving your person, your client from the inside out. Everything that I do comes from a space of love. And if I need to be a little bit more stern, I'll turn the stern knob up. If I need to have a little bit more love and compassion, and just being in this industry and being in this sacred space and this healing energy and industry for so long, I know when to do that. I know when to redirect. I know how to approach certain things. So it's no different. A person who wants to alter their body because they're not pleased with it versus the doctor saying like, oh, you got to lose this weight. It's still coming from a space of, let's love you from the inside out. We're not going to let this alarm you or control you, because the more alarmed you are about this, the more stressed out you're going to be. And the harder it's going to be to shift.
And that kind of brings me to the other part of the mental capacity.
Yes.
Because that's the other thing.
It's like 90% mental and everything else. That's what working out is. That's what fitness and wellness is. It's quite literally 90% mental. It's a mindset. Going to the gym is a mindset. That's why I say you don't have to like it at first. You just got to do it. And that's the mindset. If you know that you have a certain goal in mind, or if you know that, okay, like you say, I'm 39 and we getting into the mortality, that shouldn't be a concern of yours, because 39 is still very young. You have so much life to live. You have so much beauty to give the world. That shouldn't even be a concern of yours. You know why? Because you have the power within yourself from the inside out to change your reality at any second of the day. Meaning you can start drinking more water, lemon ginger water. You can start walking. Okay, I'm not going to drive to work today. I'm going to walk, or I'm going to do this. You get to change. It's a mindset thing. That's why I say change it from the inside out. That is who I am. That is what I'm trying to teach. Period. That's why I say become your own body goals. Don't look. This is not. I don't teach from a physical perspective. What is in here? The events that I do, the classes that I teach a yoga class every Wednesday at the Elevator Building from 6 to 7, and every Sunday at the Elevator Building from 12 to 1. Yoga. And I'm only speaking about specifically yoga. You could be like, you know what, biking, and I love to run and I love to jog. What if I offered you a different space? Like, what if I said, hey, try out yoga. You might like it. It's a mindset thing. I'm not here to redirect you or change your mind, but I'm here to offer you that opportunity. And one day you might say, you know what, let me go to yoga on Sunday. I'm not really doing anything. Let me just go. Let me bring a couple of my people and just experience something that you've never experienced before. And then you fall in love with this branch or aspect of fitness, and boom, there you go. Right? So for me, like, everything that I do is so intentional. Every word that I say to my client, every room that I walk in, I just want people to know I am here to love you from the inside out. I don't see your skin, the fact that you got on a black jacket. I see your spirit first. I feel your energy first. I don't see what you have on your feet, or he got these type of shoes, or she got this on, or she got this on. People are very physical, and people are very shallow. I just, growing up with a Taurian, black, African, strong mother, she just taught me, like, see people's spirit first, because that's where your answer is going to be. We don't care about what they look like on the outside. Let's tap into their spirit, and that's how I navigate the world.
So with that being said, as you see, especially in our community, the beauty in the spirit, but then, like, especially, like, even with diet now, like, our diets, though this music, I mean, the food, as they say, is created with love, the soul food. But some of that shit is heavy as hell.
Because let me tell you something. You can make soul food without the heaviness of it.
I know you can. But I'm saying, but still, when you may go to my partner's family reunion, they may offer this to you, like the scene in Boys in the Hood, Miss Gibbs from down the street done brought you something.
I tell my clients,
what's the play on this? Because part of it is in the culture, and also I think maybe the heaviness of how it was prepared, just due to some of the functionality of the things we did was different in the lifestyle. Like, if I was outside, like, tending to greens all day every day, I may have needed, you know what I'm saying, that I may have needed the itis plate. You know what I'm saying?
This is what I would say. I always say this to my clients, and I'm going to say it to you, and I'm going to say it on the podcast. You do not have to deprive yourself from the foods that you like.
Okay.
There is power in portion control. There is power in being able to know when to stop. Eating to feel full versus eating to feel satisfied.
Wait,
most
stop
of
there.
us,
Please
sure.
break that down a little bit
Okay,
more.
so most of us, especially like, Black people, and I'm gonna just be real. We come from a culture that's like, because we weren't
Scarcity.
privileged enough to like have like all of these options. Whatever mama cooked is what you better eat, and you better eat all of it because we don't have enough money to spend money on this, and this. Right? So you better eat all of that food. So we came from a very unhealthy space. I mean, and I'm grateful that the practices are different now in certain families and households, but we came from a space where it's just like, you better eat everything on that plate, even if you're not hungry.
Yeah.
Let's say because certain children, their stomachs are, the size of their fist. And if you're giving them a big grown man sized plate, they can't finish it, but they're being forced to because in their mom's or their grandma's or their dad's head, you don't want to be wasteful. I'm going to share this. We are not supposed to force feed our children. Children will not starve. They will know when they need to eat. The key to eating is eating to feel satisfied. Like once you eat, I'm like, okay, I feel good. But then you keep forcing yourself and you're like, oh, I'm stuffed. Why would you do that? Now you don't want to do shit else. That's what the itis is. You're eating till you're quite literally stuffed. Don't do that. Don't do it. Eat till you feel satisfied. Eat till you feel like you have enough. You got the nutrients you needed from that food that you're going to eat. And then boom, you good. Going back to the whole soul food thing, you don't have to deprive yourself of things that you don't that you love. Like, I love going out to eat. I love a good cocktail or a good, whatever, Thai food. All types of food. I don't deprive myself as a trainer. But during the week, I'm like, okay, Monday through Friday, we gonna get it. We gonna get this meal plan. We gonna eat these vegetables, this protein, whatever I'm doing. And then I'll allow myself a treat or whatever. Portion control. You don't got to eat the whole meal. Have a taste.
Okay.
Eat until you feel satisfied. You don't have to deny it because when you deny yourself something, you become more stressed out, which makes you gain more weight anyway.
Yeah. I think it's unique that you talked about that. It's like I've almost been that's hurt dating before. It's like, you want something to eat? I'm straight. And then it's like, oh, he think he better than us. So it's like,
nah, I just know my journey.
go on give me this rice pudding. And I don't even like rice pudding.
No.
Like,
no.
It's like, what you thinking? I told you.
If you're not hungry,
right here.
If you're not hungry, don't eat. But if you're not hungry and you know you need to eat because of nutritional purposes, and you're like, oh, I'm stressed out and I don't eat. Like, I'm the type of person when I'm stressed out, this is not a healthy practice. So I'm not saying this for people to do. When I'm stressed out, I have the tendency to like not eat or maybe eat one meal a day.
What was I gonna say? What's one of those classic meals? Coleslaw. It'd be like, I don't like coleslaw. And then they'd be like, you ain't never had my mama coleslaw. And it's like,
and I'm
look,
not.
it's
And
green,
I'm not.
eggs, and ham.
And I'm not.
On a hill or in a tree.
I'm okay. Would you like it in a house?
It's like,
no.
I don't want your coleslaw.
Listen.
And it's like, you ain't never had. And it's like, I don't care. And it's so funny. My Grandma Ville, shout out to her, because she's always been more leaning. And like, she always whips up stuff. And it's like, that's just nothing but hot coleslaw. Like a cabbage, chopped carrots, green peppers, and like some olive oil. This is a mix for you guys to try. And a little bit of curry powder, and what else? Like a little bit of like ginger. She, you know what I'm saying? Like pan-seared, sautés it, and puts it in a spinach wrap, rolls the spinach wrap a couple of times over, gives it to you. One of the coldest meals ever.
Okay.
And it just that fast.
It's healthy, it's nutritious, and it's good.
And
she didn't use butter. She used olive oil, y'all. So
it's light. You can.
And that's what I do.
That's
what I use. My son is
what I'm saying?
vegetarian. I say
feel that.
vegetarian because every now and again I'll let him have pizza. Like he's like, Mom, I just want to be able to like have like, but he's superstar. Like I don't eat meat and I don't eat chocolate. Like I don't know why he don't eat chocolate. Like that was his own declaration.
Hey, no
But he
problem
definitely
with
doesn't eat meat or eggs and all that kind of stuff because young people, young babies with their little tiny tummies, they can't really digest those types of foods. Like they can't really digest meat. So it's like, why would you give your why? In my brain, it's like, why would you give your child a food that you know that he can't digest, like breads and all that kind of stuff? It's hard for us to digest. So you know it's going to be hard on their little system. So I very rarely give him like bread and all that kind of stuff. He absolutely doesn't eat like eggs. He eats cheese maybe once in a while, just like as a treat. But yeah, he's healthy, shiny coat, all that kind of stuff. People was like, get that baby some meat. I said, absolutely not. Meat has like lots of mucus in it, and I do not want a snotty nosed kid. I don't want a snotty nosed kid. So
It's like we've been raising these kids on ribs for generations.
Okay, and be looking at me. No,
You
but
telling me that
but lucky
he too
enough
good for ribs?
But lucky enough, my mom raised us vegetarian for the first 10 years of our lives.
I know. I'm just telling you some of the crazy
I've heard it
stuff
all.
that would happen.
I have heard it all. My grandma used to say it to my mom. Because, like I said, my mom raised us vegetarian for the first 10 years of our lives. Like, when you in your double digits, you get to make a choice between what you, like, if you want to eat meat or, like, chicken. Like, absolutely. Like, I'm allergic to pork, so I don't eat pork. I don't eat red meat. Every now and then, I'll eat some chicken, like, some seafood. For the most part, I try to eat vegetarian, just like Sincere, just trying to set the example. One time, I felt so bad. Like, Mom, are you eating chicken? I was like... Yes, he loves animals. That's another reason why he's vegan. Like, he couldn't imagine having to eat an animal. Like, he has, like, this beautiful connection with animals. He just loves them. So he's like, I can't imagine, like, doing that. He's like, Mom, that chicken didn't do anything to you. I was like, I can't eat chicken ever again. Okay.
I feel it. So that brings us to the event that's coming up. It's going to be... this weekend coming up.
Yes.
Namaste, sensual yoga, movement, and mindful meditation. This is the second time that you're doing this. A group of women coming together in a safe space, dressed in our sexiest yoga attire. So I can only imagine what that is.
Okay, honey.
So men can have an imagination.
Yes.
To tap into feminine energy, elevate our consciousness, and indulge in spirit-filled movement while celebrating our bodies in spirit of wellness. It's going to be giveaways, refreshments. A masseuse will be on deck as well.
Yes.
Yoga mats provided. You know, it's going to be an experience.
Yes.
Experiential. You can go on Eventbrite right now.
Yes.
Namaste, and that is Namaslay. So Namaslay. It's like what you think. Namaslay.
Yes.
Explain what's going on with this.
So Namaste is my baby. Namaste, I've been manifesting and dreaming about for about 3 years now. So as a fitness instructor, like, you know, I've trained men, I've trained women, I've done the things, right? And so now I'm like, well, who do I really want to be my target, the target people that I want to pour into the most? And it doesn't take away from any other group of people. But so for me, more specifically, when I'm thinking about women and I'm thinking about women of color, and I'm thinking about the fitness industry and how, you know, there's been such this stigma about Black women. We're not fit enough, and we don't have good diets, and we don't have this, and we don't have that. It's just like I am trying to quite literally change the narrative on how the fitness industry and really this westernized society views us and how we view it. Because we don't have the education, because we were always the underdog and we were always the outcast, we don't really have the understanding about how fitness can work for us and not against us. We're so intimidated by fitness because, you know, it's always presented to us in a way of just like, you have to do this to be healthy. And it's just like, well, there's other ways to be healthy and there's other ways to move. You got to be on this treadmill. You got to do these squats. You got to have weights. You got to do this. And if that's your jam, by all means, it's no shade to people who like to lift heavy. I love going to the gym and lifting heavy. But Namaste provides a different experience. Namaste is just a combination of yoga and just sensual movement. Sensual movement is whatever you make it. You know, sometimes you're in the mirror as a woman. I mean, even as men, like when you're cleaning up on that Saturday morning and you turn on that music, whether it's soca, whether it's Stevie Wonder, whether it's Anita Baker, you're moving. The first thing you move is what? Your shoulders. And then you get to the rib cage and you move your hips. And then next thing you know, you listening to Back That Ass Up by Juvenile. And you in the mirror like, hey. So that's what Namaste is.
Your cleaning.
Listen, my cleaning
your
is
cleaning
just like every
get
other
down
black.
is not like mine.
Ask any black woman you know.
Okay.
Ask any black woman you know.
Possibly.
Twerking.
I remember my mom like cleaning out to, the Whitney, to Anita.
Yes.
But I thought you were saying as in men. It's like, hey,
no.
I better
not so much
catch
men.
my homies. It's like
no, but you will be bopping like if you cleaning up your house. I've seen men partners. If the music is right and you bopping, it's like, oh, is that new whatever you like? Mm. I don't know what you like. Is that new Drake? Yeah. You gonna stop and bop for a minute. Like, and that's what it is. Namaste is a space to have fun and be authentically ourselves. Like me, I'm a shit talker. I'm going to talk that shit. When we in Downward Facing Dog, I'm going to be like, I know you was doing that last night in the bedroom. And the girls, they laugh and they feel safe because sensuality and sexuality has been such a taboo in the black woman community. Yeah. We are objectified and we are sexualized and so many people look to us for the trends. I mean, the long hair, everything in the fashion, and you can argue with me, fight me, what? Everything in the fashion and culture industry comes from the black woman. Everything, fashion, like all of that shit. Black people, period.
Yeah, I was gonna say
hip hop. Everything is influenced by black culture.
Yeah.
So you want our culture, you want to look like us, but when it comes to our experiences, you're like, but nah, though.
Yeah,
you want y'all same privilege.
Y'all want
the coolness
of blackness,
right?
Without the obligation and the responsibility of the challenges
of the black woman experience or the black man experience.
Yes.
Absolutely. And so Namaste, women of color coming together in a safe space. And when I say a safe space, I mean a judgment-free zone. Mm-hmm. When you go to the gym, you're self-conscious. You're like, okay, am I doing this right? Or do I have a way? No. Mm-hmm. You come here and you let your hair down. It's a judgment-free zone.
It's not gonna be a guy going to the water fountain every 2 seconds.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You get to it's a girls' night. What do you do with your girls? You drink. It's gonna be drinks. Bring your own bottle, Hennies. But it will be drinks in case you forget. I always, hook the girls up, yoga mats, ambiance, candle lit, flowers on the floor. You can go to my page, Mom's on the Go, see a video of the last experience. It's just it's just an all around beautiful experience. And so some of the girls like, oh my God, y'all, you spoiled us. Like, cause it wasn't just like some yoga mats thrown on the floor and like some food on the counter. No, like it was the decor, it was the ambiance, it was the meditation, the playlist even, like all of the sexiest songs, all of the women forward, powerful. Even we had WAP, we had Cardi B, we had a little bit of Megan Thee Stallion because when we were in some of those yoga poses, I said, okay, now wind your waist, now move, open up that sacral chakra, balance out that sacral chakra. That's where the creative energy is. If that root chakra and that sacral chakra is imbalanced and it's tight and it's filled with all this stress of the world and negativity, you can't be creative, you can't think straight, you can't be clear on decisions to make. So come to Namaste, come to yoga, unleash that heart chakra. You going through shit with your boyfriend, dance that shit out. Dance that shit out, yoga that shit out, move that shit out. And then we do tapping, we do the mindful meditation when we're quite literally tapping affirmations into our heart, into our throat chakra, the things that we wish we could have said, maybe to unleashes some of that childhood trauma, some of the things that you wish you could have said as a child to your mom or your dad. Tapping those affirmations into your throat, into your third eye chakra, into your crown chakra. Getting back to our traditional greatness, oftentimes, we don't feel beautiful. It's because of the society. It's because the media is telling us that we're not beautiful. It's not because we genuinely think that in our hearts.
Yeah.
We get to create safe spaces that makes us feel beautiful. Look in the mirror and move your body. A lot of women can't do that, believe it or not, because they're like, oh, I'm ashamed. Oh, but look at this roll. But look at that beautiful ass body moving. Stop focusing on the little imperfections and focus on how beautiful and perfect you already are.
And I mean, we'll say this till we're blue in the face, especially black men.
Yeah,
we like that role.
Yeah,
we like a lot of what you think are imperfections.
And
I mean, if if your man, you know what I'm saying? Because I guess I can't speak as far as like
right.
just random black man on the
Right,
street
right, right.
that you could care less about. But your man probably likes a lot of that. Like you'd be surprised, like some of the way you lean in, like
Yeah.
you know, like men like a lot of
The feminine characteristics and features.
Yeah.
But let me say this.
Yeah.
And it's no shade to men, but Namaste is a time for women to come and tap in and take back that power. Now we know what our man like. My you know, I've had men say, "Oh, you got beautiful this," and I get it and I appreciate it. But if I don't feel that about myself,
I give you
what
that.
you telling me is not.
It's
It
not
don't
gonna
validate
connect.
my
It's not gonna
experience as a
connect.
woman.
Yeah,
If
you're right.
I don't feel it from the inside out, and
Yeah.
that's why I always say, my approach is healing from the inside out. Because if you don't feel it within yourself, this man. I could walk up and down the street all day. You got a fat ass. You beautiful. You this and you that. But if I don't feel that, then it's not gonna matter.
It don't matter.
And I'm not gonna perform any differently.
That's
So
deep.
what my goal is for Namaste is for us to tap back into that feminine, that sensual energy, because there is a spirituality and there is a power in feminine energy and sensuality. There is, people, women call me all the time like, well, how do you manifest? And I want waist beads because shout out to me. I do waist beads and all that kind of stuff too. I sell healing beads and all that kind of stuff, womb beads, sacral chakra beads, all type of different beads that you can use for even weight loss and all that kind of stuff. So, rose quartz, citrine, all tiger's eye, things to work on your anxiety, depression, every type of waist bead you can think of, I make them. Waist beads makes us feel powerful, beautiful, and traditionally, in Africa, they were used for a rite of passage. So when you were born, you get your set of waist beads just for protection, to keep you grounded to the ancestors. Then you grow up, and then you have another rite of passage when you start menstruating as a woman. You go into puberty, you get another set of waist beads. And then, you become even more into womanhood. You get another set of waist beads. Then you become a wife. You get another set of waist beads. So, it's really a rite of passage. It's really a sacred waist beads it's just really sacred for women in the healing industry. But that's what Namaste is. It's not to discount men and the experience and the validation of men, but it is to tap into our own femininity and our own power to be able to manifest and create the life that we deserve and that we want. I want this and I want this life and I want to be rich and I want to manifest it through your womanhood, your womanhood. And you can't do that if it's blocked.
I'm with it.
So
this is cool. This is coming up this weekend.
Yes, Friday.
This is the second. But
Yes.
more will be coming soon.
Yes, that is the goal, to expand. I want to be able to do Namaste all over.
Eventbrite. This was a joy. I definitely like where I usually have my classic Detroit is different questions. I want to throw something different at you. Being that it is. Okay, so here we go. Here's the classic that I have for a dancer. I usually ask, what was your first car? What would you play? What would you rename Woodward after?
Okay.
You're a Detroit dancer.
Okay.
Right? So I'm going to go straight Detroit hood. Of hustle music, hustle songs, what would be the most Detroit hustle experience? Give me a place, the hustle, meaning like you got to pick the song. And if you could give the experience, like, is it a family reunion? Is it a high school homecoming? And then tell me, what is it? Is it the cha-cha slide on the what is that? The Detroit Princess? Is
something that's coming to me. So yes, I've been to several family reunions and I've hung out with friends and we've all done the hustle and even at prom, all that kind of stuff. But I would say that my most memorable hustle experiences have been girls' night out when I'm with my girlfriends, I think early 20s. And, I was like a late bloomer to the whole hustle. Like I'm a classically trained dancer.
It's like I do ballet and
I'm
African dance.
Right.
Like,
so
what is this cha-cha slide you speak of?
Exactly. So
and it's like, this man is telling me what steps to do.
So let me tell you. And I think it was like around 2009 and 10 where me and my girlfriends for some 8, 9, 10, we were 8, 9, 10, 11, or maybe 9, 10, 11. We were just going hard. Like, we was like going out. We were 20. We just turned 21. We were like into the clubs. So, we weren't I mean, and we would go out and we would like do the, but I had this one girlfriend in particular that just knew all the hustles, and it was just so intriguing to me. And I was like, I want to learn. And I'm a fast learner because dancers, we could pick up on stuff. So I'll be on the floor, okay. And it's the, I know the dance. I know the slide. I can't remember.
How does the song go?
I don't know. It's not coming to me. It's not. Hold on. Let me think. I know the slide. I know the hustle. I'm doing it in my head, but I can't remember the song. Oh, it's not coming to me. Anyway.
Okay, so for people that aren't from Detroit, it's a couple cities that are like this. Detroit, Chicago,
Indiana.
a little bit of Memphis, and a little bit of Indianapolis. And really, it propelled K-John on the Ocean's career. It'll be points in time in especially any cabaret you go to in Detroit. So that's something else that is big part of Detroit culture for people watching. And I really need to start interviewing some of these cabaret DJs or something. Mm-hmm. But so it'll be a point in the night of a cabaret is basically a party where people bring their own liquor and they're at tables, and then they buy like these ice setups and they get cups and people dress up. You'll see a lot of alligator shoes and things like that. So, but it'll be a point in the night where it'll be maybe like an hour of all of these people hustle dance, like what other people may say like line dancing. And probably 50% of the cabaret knows all these steps.
All of the moves.
And
all of the songs.
Yes.
They look at you like, are you black?
You're going to bump into somebody.
It's just like back in the day. But it's just like back in the day. Like if you didn't know how to play spades, I'm going to just a secret. Maybe it's the liquor. I don't know how to play. I wasn't one of my sister, my brother, my grandma made sure they knew how to play spades.
We're going to take your black card away from you.
Let me tell you.
What is wrong? This person doesn't know how to play spades.
Bye. See you. Get off the table.
Exactly.
I still, to this day, I'm like, you know what? That was never my ministry, so I know how to save y'all life. I know how to teach you how to exercise, but I don't know how to play
cutting clubs. The classic Roddy Jordan joke.
I feel like a failure. I couldn't even answer your hustle question. I can't remember the song, but I know of quite a few hustles, and now they have new music out. They have hustle classes.
Yeah, it's like a whole industry. Like for people that don't know, it's a whole industry connected with they travel from city to city and battle other people that hustle. Like it's a world in Detroit of people that hustle.
Yeah.
So not hustle it's definitely street hustlers.
Oh, yes.
But hustle like the dance hustle.
Yeah.
So the classic one is the electric slide.
Yeah.
So, and as we know, My Eyes Don't Cry No More from Stevie Wonder, which is probably one of necessarily it's one of Stevie Wonder's biggest hits in Detroit.
Yes.
That is not a hit like anywhere else in the country.
I know, that's crazy.
Because people be like, you ain't gonna play that?
Every family reunion, everybody know that hustle. Like if you don't know that hustle, then.
So any DJ that's out there that's coming to Detroit and you're doing a gathering with especially all ages of black folks.
Yeah.
You know how you think you can play Before I Let Go from Frankie Beverly and Maze, and we'll love it, and we will love that. But if you play dun, 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 you're gonna see a portion of probably 70% of the people that were in that crowd.
We're running to the floor.
And they're gonna start doing the electric slide, and you're gonna be like, man, I just didn't even know.
Go down with it.
This was the anthem. This was the anthem.
It was. I love Detroit. See, you asked me at the beginning of why'd you choose Detroit because of this? It's
Detroit stuff that's just
that is just embedded and ingrained in you. It's just in your blood.
Yeah, and it just seems normal. And then you go to another place like Houston, and you be like, and you don't see it,
right?
And you be like, ain't this normal? And it's like, no,
absolutely not.
No. I got a homeboy. Here go another classic one. I got a homeboy that's from Nashville. That's like, what is up with black people in Detroit and corned beef? I was like, I don't even know, man. But it's something. It is something.
It's one of those things.
But thank you so much. Please let people know your IG again, and we gonna follow. We gonna look forward to what's coming up this weekend.
Okay, guys. So again, my IG is Sunflow Wellness. You can find that on Instagram, and you can find that on Facebook. And then my other social media account is Moms on the Go, MOMZ on the Go. Or you can just search for Imari Alaji. You can visit my website, sunflowwellness.com, and just find out some of the things that I have going on and coming up. Like I said, I have 2 yoga classes every week for everybody. Two times a week for everybody. It's open to everybody. So I don't want people to get that confused. So Namaste is an event that I have once a month for just women. But my regular yoga classes every Wednesday from 6 to 7 and every Sunday from 12 to 1. And at the Sunday ones, we have mimosas because it's Sunday. And it's like, you got to like look out for the people. So typically on our Sunday yoga classes, we'll drink our mimosa, we'll have our flow. And then a couple of us from class will just go to brunch. A lot of people have been taking pride in showing me like brunch areas in the downtown area and like in the city. So I've been enjoying that. Like I've been to brunch every Sunday almost for like the past 3 months, like seriously.
Cool.
So again, that's at Sunflow Wellness, and then the other one is at Moms on the Go, or www.sunflowwellness.com, or just look up Imari Alaji. Namaste is an all-women's event that's happening March 25th from 6 to 8 at the Elevator Building. All of that information is on my page. I post it on my stories daily. You can find it on my website. You can find the flyer. I think, Kari, you have a flyer. Hopefully he'll post it on his page so you can find out, or maybe some type of link. And that's it. It was such a pleasure, Kari.
Thank you.
It was such a pleasure.
This was fun.
All
right. Peace be.
Peace.
Detroit is Different is where you get information, artistry, history, music, and even comedy. Detroit is Different, a home for the culture of Detroit. Visit online at DetroitisDifferent.com today.